Very good evening, all of you. I hope you people have installed all the Spring Boot extensions in the VS Code as well as JDK and Maven. So let me press my screen at first. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to all. Let's open our VS Code. Okay. So in order to create our Maven project, first of all, let's see what are we for the week 1 in our Java development. So in the second week, we are having REST APIs, Spring MVC, and dependency injection, right? And what do we have to do? We have to build a RESTful API using Spring Boot. So what do you people mean by RESTful API? RESTful API stands for Representational State Transfer API. Over here, what do? We send HTTP requests. All right. We send GET request, POST request, PUT request, and delete request. Got it? Let's see one of the requests by making a Java or Spring Boot file. Just go to the settings and click on command palette and try Spring Initializer. See, we are getting over here Spring Initializer, create a Maven project. I'll click on it and I will select the version 3.4.3. I'll click enter and then I'll specify the project of the language of the project, that is Java. And then I will press enter again and then I will press enter again and then I'll select jar and I will specify the Java version 17. And over here I will write Spring Web here and I'll press enter. And here what I'll do, inside this folder I'll create another folder, that is Java, or else inside this folder only I'll create and I'll open it. See, are you people getting these files? Quickly reply me with a yes or no. Okay, you people are getting it, right? Okay. So what we are going to do is, inside the SRC folder, you'll get the main folder. And inside this folder, you'll go to the Java folder. And here, this is our entry point of the program. That is demo application.java. So inside the demo folder, what I will do, I will create 3 more folders. That is model, another folder, that is service, and one more folder, that is controller. Alright. So inside this model folder, I'll make my file book.java. And inside this, I'll make another file, that is book controller.java. And finally, inside the service file, I'll make a file, that is book service.java. So I have made 3 separate folders inside the SRC main and SRC main folder, that is controller, model, as well as service. Inside the controller, I have the book controller, and inside the model, I have book.java, as well as inside the service folder, I have what? Book service.java. Let's move to the book.java at first. Over there, we are already having the package com.example.demo.model. So here what I will do, I will specify the type of data that I will be storing inside my book. Or you may also say that the same thing that we do in our database, I will provide it the schema of my data. Say for example, I'm having public class book inside which I will initialize my variables with private int id and then private string title and then private string author. So I have declared three variables over here. So these variables will show the book ID, the title of the book, as well as the author of the book. And now what I will do, now you will tell me what is this one. Got it? Public book and then I will write public book. Inside this, I will write int id string title and finally string author. This dot id is equal to id. This dot title is equal to title. And finally, this dot author is equal to author. So tell me, what have I done over here? I have told this a lot of times in the previous class. So what was I doing? Reply fast. Constructor. Right, Bhavesh. That is the constructor, which is having the same name as that of the class. And what was I doing inside the constructor? Yeah, I was creating a parameterized constructor. Great. I was initializing the variables, right? Shruti, please switch off your video. Okay. So let's move further. After creating the constructor, what I will do, I will get the ID. For that, I will use the function that is public and the return type will be int and the function name will be getID. And inside this getID, I will write this dot ID is equal to ID. Right? And after that, I will write public void set ID and then I will write this dot ID is equal to ID. It has to be set ID. And if I make it as get ID. So if I want to get my ID, I will make it return my ID, right? Return ID. At first, we will set the ID for the ID variable and then we will get the value of the ID variable. So in order to set the data, we will use set ID and then in order to get the data, we will write get ID. Similarly, for the name as well as for the title as well as the author, we will do the same thing. That is public string, or you can also say public void set title this dot. We have to also pass the parameters over here, and here string title as the parameter. This dot title is equal to title. See, these parameters, you can take them as the ingredients that we require while cooking the food. So, parameters serve as the ingredient. We take the material from the parameter and provide its value inside the function, which is why it is always necessary to mention the parameter inside the setter function. What is this is known as the setter function, and this one is known as the getter function. So after writing the setter function for title, I will mention public string get title, or yeah, get title, and then return title. Similarly, public void set author, providing the parameter that is string author. I will write as this dot author is equal to author. After mentioning the setter function, I'll mention my getter function, public string get author. Return author. So this is what I have done. I have initialized my variables, that is ID, title as well as author, and provided them the setter as well as getter function. So this is the work that we had to do inside the book.java file. So tell me quickly, how can you conclude that what kind of functions do we carry out inside the book.java? Right inside, you need to ask parameter. Okay. Reply me quickly with a brief note of what were we doing inside the book.java. Write it in the chat. Asked. Right. So let's move further. And inside our book service.java, what I will write? We have also mentioned our package, and then inside the class, I'll write. And before writing anything inside the function, inside the class, what I have to do, I have to import form dot example. Okay, com dot example dot demo dot model dot inside the model. What do I have? I have my book, right? So I have to import this. So inside the class, what I will do, I will write private final list book as books. And then I will write new array list So tell me quickly what is the framework that I am using over there. I taught you people in the previous class. Reply fast. And if you don't reply, I'm not going to move ahead. Collections, right, Vaibhav? No, Bhavesh, it's not oops. All right, collections. Oh. And then, see, I have not imported my list as well as array list, which is why it is providing the red line below it. So for that, what I have to do, I will import the list as well as array list from the util package java dot utils dot list list, and also I will import java dot util dot array list. So array list is the implementation class of the list. Got it? And books is our variable. And book is our variable, and inside this angular bracket I have written book, which means that we can only enter the data of the type book. So that what all things that I have mentioned inside the book, I have mentioned the id, title as well as author. So only these things can be mentioned inside our array list. I hope I made my point clear. So after that, what will we do? We will initialize a constructor like public and then the class name book service, and inside this constructor what I will do, I'll add my books dot add new book, and inside the book I'll give the id as 1 and then the title as spring boot guide, and then I will provide author as John Doe. Okay, we will see further what how can we resolve the error. And then I will add again a new book, that is books dot add, and then I'll make a new entry book. After that, I'll provide the ID as 2 and then title as Java for beginners. And then finally the author is equal to James Smith. After that, I will write public list book, and then I will get all the books using get all books. Over here, I will return books. Done till here. So, before doing this, what we will do, we will provide an annotation, that is service. This is nothing but an annotation that we are doing a kind of service over here. And then can anyone tell me how to resolve this error? Any one of you? So instead of assigning these, let's provide only one title. Okay, all right. See, we have instead of providing all these things, we have already provided our values for the variables that we mentioned in our book.java. Got it? This is how we will provide the data inside our array list, and then we will return the books and get all the books. Got it? Okay. After that, what we will do, we will we will get each book by its ID. So for that, we have to use a function. So what kind of function we will use? We will use public book get book by ID. Okay, I have to provide a semicolon over here. Public book get book by ID, and inside this I will pass a parameter that is ID. So in order to get the book by its ID, we have to provide the ID at first. And inside the function, I will write return books dot stream dot filter, and inside the filter I'll provide an object b, and then b dot get ID double equal to ID. So ID. So we will check over here that whether the ID of the book is equal to the provided ID. After that, I will write dot find first. So this is how I will find my book using the ID, or else I will write null. And then I will write public void add book, and then I'll create an object of the book class, that is book. After that, what I will do, I'll use this book object to add all the book. And finally, I will make another function in order to delete the book. Public void delete book using its ID. Books dot remove if v dot get id will be equal to the id. So what we have done? We have done, we have written the functions in order to add the book as well as in order to delete the book. This is what our book service.java have. Any doubts still here? Any doubt? Okay, Nandkishore is saying he's having no doubt. And then after writing these code inside our book service.java, I will further move to my book controller.java. And inside this book controller, I will write some of the APIs to, and before that, I have to teach you people about the annotations. Let's start and then I'll teach you. One more thing that we have to import over here is that I will import org.framework, which is a Spring framework. And from the Spring framework, I will import stereotype dot service. And inside the book controller.java, I will write import form.example demo dot model, and from the model I'll import book. And I'll also import the book service using import form dot example dot demo dot service. And from the service, I'll import book service. After that, I'll also import org dot spring framework. And from the spring framework, I'll import web dot find bind dot annotation. And finally, I'll import java dot util dot list. Inside this, I'll write an annotation that is REST controller. And then I will write request mapping. Don't worry if you are not being able to understand these REST controller as well as request mapping. I will send you people a proper document providing how all these annotations are working. Just write these codes with me, and tomorrow I will teach you people about the annotations as well as we will also see the output of this code. Am I clear? Ma'am, can you show me once book.java file? My network is disconnected for some time. Okay. So if you will not be able to understand annotations, then you will also not be able to understand the controllers. Got it? So tomorrow I'll teach you people about the controller, providing you a proper file and giving you the proper description of all the controllers. Got it? And tomorrow only we will see the outputs. For Prince, I will send you the complete code of bit.java. Just do one thing, copy paste it inside your file. And inside the controller, I'll write request mapping and I'll provide the endpoint that is API and then books. And we will start our book controller class. Inside this, I will write private final book service and I'll create the object book service. And then I will write public book controller and this and then book service. And inside the book controller constructor, I will initialize the variable this dot book service is equal to book service. And then I'll provide one more annotation that is get mapping. And then I'll return public list and the list will be of the book and I will use get all books And inside the function, I will return book service dot get all books. Dot get all books. So what will I do? Get request and followed by the HTTP URL. Over there, the backend or the server will provide me with all the books that I am having inside my, that I will provide the server as the input. It will provide me the list of all books. And then again, I will provide an annotation get mapping. And by this time, what I will do, I will get my books using the ID. And this ID will be my endpoint inside the URL. So for that, I'll again be initializing the book, and then I will write a function get book by ID. And then I write at the rate path variable and then int ID. I'll write return book service dot get books by ID. So how are these get requests different from each other? Previously, what we were doing, we were getting all my books. And in the second case, I am providing a particular ID of my book in order to get that particular ID. So this is what our get request was. And then I will provide my post request at the rate post mapping and inside this I will write public void add book at the rate request body book book. And then I write book service dot add book and then book. This was my post request. All these things should be provided the semicolon. And finally, I will provide my delete request, that is using delete mapping. So post request is in order to add a new book to my already existing array list, and the delete mapping is used to delete the particular book that I want. So in order to delete a particular book, I'll be requiring the ID of the book. So for that, I will provide the ID of the book as the endpoint in my URL. Public void delete book at the rate path variable int ID. And then I will write book service dot delete book int ID. So this is what we have provided the functions for get, post, and delete requests of HTTP. tell me the point where, and inside the demo application.java, we already have the boilerplate code. So we do not need to provide anything inside our code. But inside the resources and inside the application properties, what I will write is, I will write my port number. Port is equal to 8080, and I will save it. So on which port my server will be there? My server will be there on the port 8080. And over here, inside the demo application.java, you don't have to make any changes since it has been already provided to us by default. And regarding the book controller.java, I'll be taking one more class tomorrow in order to make you people understand about the annotations, as well as we will see their output in tomorrow's class only. Any further doubt? Right. So let me ask you people a few questions about OOPS concept. Tell me or write inside the chat box that what function does the abstraction? Will you run the program now? No, Abhimanyu, we will run the program tomorrow inside the Postman application and we will test all the APIs. Because for that you need to understand the controller functions. Got it? And inside the controller functions, I have provided the API and the HTTP requests. Got it? So we will do all those things for tomorrow's class. So right inside the chat box, what do you know about abstraction concept in Java object-oriented programming? Right quickly. On write fast, and I'll get to know if you people are copying from ChatGPT. Abstraction is the process of showing only the essential thing to the user while hiding important details. So Nand Kishore, provide me an example of abstraction. Any real life example which is not related to the code. Email transfer. How email transfer process of hiding the documentation details. Okay. How the email transfer is abstraction? Hiding certain details and showing essential. Okay. So, did anyone learn about the types of inheritance? Anyone? Jyoti, single level, multi-level hierarchy. So Jyoti, I told you in the previous class that in Java we cannot implement multiple inheritance, right? So tell me in which case we can implement multiple inheritance in Java, right? So, all right. And why can't we use the multiple inheritance in case of class? Okay, okay. Diamond property. Not multiple inherited information. So, for today we have this much only, and I will be explaining, and I'll be explaining to people tomorrow about the controller and all those things, and then we will see the output of our written code. And if any alterations has to be there inside the code, I'll send the alterations to you people, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. And also we will see the output in tomorrow's class. Basically, we will test it using the Postman API. If any doubts are there, you can ask me, or you people can leave the meeting on 9 o'clock. When our attendance will be shown to us to track our attendance. Your attendance automatically is taken by the Google.